All right, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to the GED 2014. I am Daniel Santiago, and I'm going to be sharing with you today a little bit about the GED and our solution. Reason being is I've had a lot of administrators and practitioners who are concerned about the GED call me and say, hey, what do you have as far as a solution for the GED that's coming out, all the assessments, all the changes. I'm not even sure I understand it all, and I'd love to see if you can help me out. So the purpose of this webinar, this recording, really is to give you a foundation to build upon and some awareness on the solution that we can provide and how we can partner with you. So let's go ahead and dive in. Taking a look at the 2014 GED, this test is going to be much more than a high school equivalency credential. It really is going to help adult learners get better paying jobs and, more importantly, cultivate confidence in themselves and their education to help them generate hope and an opportunity for a brighter future. And these changes are going to take effect on January 2nd, 2014, and that's actually today. The day that I'm making this presentation is the day that the GED test as we know it is going to be completely changed. So let's break it down. The test is going to be about 7 hours. It's going to cover the 4 core subjects, and we'll start with language arts. It's going to be about 150 minutes. So we're talking 2.5 hours with a 10-minute break, 75% informational, 25% literature, weighty test. So students are going to need to be prepared for that test specifically in a major way, and we can help with that. Let's look at mathematical reasoning, 90 minutes with 45% quantitative problem solving, 55% algebraic problem solving, another weighty test, especially if you've been out of school and struggling like the traditional GED student has, or if you're looking at more of an adult learner who maybe is coming from a foreign country or another country and is going to be needing this assessment to get credentialed to get into school or maybe a career, or maybe an adult who has been in a career for many, many years and they were recently laid off and they're looking to start a new career. Whoever that student is, we can help them. So science and social studies are both 90 minutes as well. The science is 40% life science, 40% physical science, 20% earth and space science. And social studies is a conglomerate of civics and government, U.S. history, economics, geography, and the world. And so just to summarize what this is, the new assessments are going to launch today, January 2nd, 2014, and serve as a springboard for more education, training, and better paying jobs, and provide opportunities to earn a high school equivalency credential and measure a learner's career and college readiness in the 4 main subjects. So why all the changes? Why were these changes made? We really need, the GED test had to become not only research-based, but include a clear set of essential skills that are necessary for 21st century learners, regardless of the career program, that could also serve well for them to prepare them for credit-bearing institutions, whether that's college, university, vocational programs, etc. And it's really geared to provide educators like yourself 2 score levels, right? 2 score levels that provide a consistent testing experience that's delivered exclusively on a computer. And so what that looks like is this test is being really one of a kind. It's the only test that's going to be aligned to both high school expectations as well as college and career readiness expectations, and it's going to provide you 2 scores. Like I mentioned, you have a struggling student who needs to demonstrate high school equivalency and abilities, and you have another student who maybe is at a higher education academically, maybe in other countries, or been out of school for a long period of time, but they're brilliant and they just need to prove that they have college and career readiness. And with that, again, one of the main differences being it's going to be delivered on a computer, which provides that consistent testing experience and flexibility as far as arranging that, whether you do it online or calling in to schedule that. It's going to increase the equity across the board because we're really trying to provide an equitable and accessible education for everyone, regardless of their age, regardless of their career path. And so that's what this GED assessment is going to do. So really looking at some of the differences between 2014 and in 2002. In summarizing this for you, there's going to be a virtual calculator, some different test times. The distractors and how they answer are going to be changed. There's going to be an essay that's going to be scored by the computer. And ultimately, it's going to determine more confidently a student's future. So let's look at a little bit more of the differences. In 2002, it was based on Bloom's taxonomy. In 2014, it's going to be Webb's depth of knowledge and the Common Core state standards. So high level, high order thinking skills that have to be applied. Multiple choice essay and grid format questions are kind of out the door and become more innovative to hotspot, drag and drop, short answer, extended response, fill in the blank, multiple choice, etc. And again, delivered completely on a computer. So in mathematics, gone is the old school physical Texas Instrument calculator that we all had kind of growing up for SATs and things like that. And now it's going to be a virtual calculator that's going to provide that same resource, but it's going to be on the computer. Formulas are no longer going to be provided on a piece of paper. They're going to be able to click on a button and see those same formulas available to you. And the cost is different. I don't know if it's inflation or what, but since 2002, the cost has gone up from $60 to $120 per test. That's 4 subjects. We're looking at almost $500 for all 4 subjects. So these resources, some of the resources that you can see are going to be a dry erase board instead of a scratch paper. So we're really trying to go 21st century in providing students with a learning experience. Spanish is going to be available as well. So let's look a little closer and ask the question, are your students ready? And even more so, are you ready? If you're watching this presentation right now, you're looking for a solution. So I'd like to introduce the A+ readiness program for the GED. The difference is you're going to have diagnostic pretest, prescriptive lessons, and assessments that really strategically help your students prepare for it and successfully pass the 2014 GED test. It is 100% aligned in regards to the standards for the specific test, and you're going to have this available for the iPad or any smart device that's available. So here's how it works for you. So your students can prepare for the GED test in the classroom, at the library, in learning labs, at home, or wherever they have internet connectivity. And it gets better. I mean, it really does. It really is the perfect solution for GED tests because it pinpoints skills and deficiencies for each student, automatically prescribes lessons that help the students build skills in the deficient areas and allows them to progress through the material at their own pace. And post-tests that measure and record the academic gains will tell whether the students are prepared to take the 2014 GED test. So let's take a look how it works. A student's going to be assigned an assessment from one of the 4 subject areas. You determine what they need to know and assign them that specific assessment. Students will take the assessment and it is scored based upon that specific subject areas. And based on their score, they're going to be prescribed lessons based on their results. So how that works, a student will then complete the prescribed course after they've done the assessment, and then the students will take a post-test to measure and record the academic gains that they achieved, and then proceed to take the correlating GED test if the post-testing indicates readiness. Here's how it works. So they're going to have to prove that they have mastery or at least a depth of knowledge, and they're going to have to recall about 20% of the readiness assessment content that's written at level 1 and 80% of the GED assessment content that's written at level 2 and 3. So what that means is that you have access to all 32 titles that are 100% aligned. So the student's going to log in with their username and password, be assigned one of these 4 subjects, and then from there progress through the assessments, lessons, and then post-test to ensure that they're ready and proficient in that respective subject so that they can be prepared to take the test. And the types of items that they'll see in each of those subjects are listed here. So let's just say in social science, they're going to have multiple choice, technology enhanced, drop-down items. They're going to have extended response or essay items. So they're going to have a plethora of how would I say it, of exposure to what it's going to be like to take the test, the GED test, on the computer. So who does our solution help? I talked about this earlier. It really helps your struggling student who is taking an alternative path to complete high school, or adult learners who have been laid off and are now re-entering either college or a new career, or individuals who are coming from other countries who are trying to get jobs here in the States. And so I put a couple screenshots here to give you some visual of the courses in each of the subjects, like language arts and social studies. Here's one for math and science. So you can see, again, it's very straightforward, very clean. The student is going to have nuggeted or chunked information, which the National Association of Reading says helps with knowledge comprehension and application. And with that, it really comes down to understanding your program. So my goal really is to better understand what your needs are, how you're running the program, the type of students that you're trying to serve, and coming up with a program that meets your needs. And so there's really 3 easy implementation options for your program. I'm going to run through these really quickly. First is a perpetual site license. So if you're running a GED academy, an adult school, some sort of program that you have a lot of students and you want them working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I'm really kind of exaggerating here, but bottom line is you want to give your students access so that they can get on with the GED test and get on with their life as soon as possible. We offer a perpetual site license. The next is a concurrent user license, and this allows you to serve a set number of students throughout the day in a computer lab or traditional classroom. Looking at like the rotation model there, you can have a station rotation where you have a couple computers in the library, or you have a lab where students come in and out in different periods, or you flip the classroom where the students go to their normal traditional classrooms during the day, whether it's an elective credit or work credit, community service, things like that, and then you flip the classroom so that they have access to the GED assessments and prescriptive lessons in the off hours where they're not working or taking care of family or whatever. And then you have an individual rotation where you can say, hey, look, Johnny, Jackie, Susie, Jill, you guys can get on depending on your intake. I understand your lifestyle. Here's what we're trying to do. This allows you to I'm going to give you an example. In a 7-period day, let's say first period you have 30 students come in and they're all taking GED tests. Second period you have 30 different students come in, and in third period you have 30 different students come in. You can leverage your licenses to reach more students and prepare them for the GED test in the same day. So really leveraging your licenses there. And then third is the enrolled user license model. And this allows you to serve specific students throughout the year, whether they're wherever they are, really providing them true anytime, anywhere learning. And pricing starts at $90 per seat. It's flexible. And how this works is, let's say you enroll Jackie. Jackie can take as many of the subjects that they want, that she wants, any of the courses, but another student can't take Jackie's seat until Jackie's finished and completely done with that seat. So 3 options that are there for you, really to provide you some solutions. And my job and my passion is really coming alongside educators like yourself and customizing solutions for your students and for your schools, and understanding your programs, and really coming alive where I get to see you in the context of your environment. And this readiness solution has over 1,200 lessons, 32 titles, and it's all aligned to the GED 2014 standards. And here's kind of a linear pathway if that's how you think. So you're going to have the 4 subject areas: math, science, social studies, language arts. Students going to be assigned one of those subjects. They're going to take a pre-test to show what they know and don't know. Based upon what results they get, they're going to be prescribed lessons. And then from there, after they complete the lessons, they're going to take a post-test. The post-test is going to tell you the amount of gains that they received and if they're ready to take the 2014 GED test, which costs $120. And they can be on their way to a successful career or college experience. All right, so that really is it. That's my presentation. That's me right there talking. You can give me a call at 480-521-8308. You can email me at dsantiago at k12.com to schedule a time for me to come on site, or maybe a conference call, or either way, whatever works best for you and your schedule. I'm really here to serve and support you and making a difference in education. So with that said, I want to thank you for taking some time to check out the GED 2014 solution, and I look forward to working with you soon. Be well.